Hi, friends. It's Henry here from Inspiring You with our energy update. We're already in this powerful energy of new beginnings, of fresh energy for the January 11th new moon. That's already really energetically welcoming us into a new cycle, into the new year. So, I'm going to be sharing with you three key things that you may want to know about the energy right now. So, my friends, before we begin, though, I also wanted to let you know that tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live on YouTube, and it's going to be a new moon Reiki energy healing meditation. I'm actually calling this Raise Your Vibration Thursdays, and my intention is to go live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to do Reiki energy healing meditations. And so, since tomorrow coincides with the new moon, we're going to be doing a new moon Reiki energy healing meditation live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That also, though, friends, if you are interested in the replay, then the replay is going to be available on my podcast, The Inspiring You Show. It will be for the paid podcast members. So if you are interested in becoming a paid podcast member, you can head over to my podcast. The link is in the bio area. Also, it will be available on my Patreon membership levels for Meditate with Me and above. And just to give you an inclination of how much it is, the Meditate with Me level is $20 a month. And not only are you going to get access to all the replays for the Raise Your Vibration meditations, but you also, there are two additional meditations plus so much more that I put into the memberships. In terms of my paid podcast subscription, you get a ton of resources. Not only will you get the Raise Your Vibration replays, but you also get the Dowsing Energy Healing of the Month, which that in and of itself is worth $25. So people usually buy that solo, but I really am encouraging people to get either the paid podcast membership or the Patreon one because you just get more benefits. Okay, let's move on now to getting into the new moon. So as we usher in the first new moon of the year, the celestial landscape is brimming with fresh inspiration, sparking enthusiasm for the journey ahead. If you find yourself still grappling with feeling really lethargic or tired, which could be left over from the wake of 2023, be open to this invigorating energy of the new moon, which is peaking on January 11th. I also can't encourage enough to do energy healing work because that will also really support clearing the dense energy, allowing the light to come in, which oftentimes can help you shift faster. But most importantly, though, really, no matter what, let yourself be in this invigorating energy of the new moon. Let it rejuvenate your spirit, amplify your motivation, serve as a reminder to embrace new beginnings. January 11th marks the beginning of the year with the first new moon in Capricorn. Although fresh energy surrounds this new moon, the influence of Pluto Capricorn also introduces a feeling of closures and endings. Pluto will also support this in and out of Capricorn until November 2024 when it finally moves for good. This, however, is the final Capricorn new moon with a close proximity to Pluto, bringing with it a sense of conclusion to this passage. So the journey with Pluto in Capricorn commenced in 2008, creating a challenge for us to recall life any differently. So as we become so accustomed to the presence of Pluto in Capricorn, it might be slightly daunting to distinguish the lessons this vibrational energy has imparted to us. But I can't encourage enough to really let yourself do introspection to also try to decipher and understand. Because when you really dive into more understanding on the energy and how things are playing out, it can just expand and support you in the consciousness in such great ways. So, Pluto's journey through Capricorn has been characterized by guidance towards identifying what provides us with a sense of stability and security. Simultaneously stimulating transformation and self reckoning, it has been bolstering the profound layers of our soul, Considering this is the concluding Capricorn new moon with Pluto still in Capricorn, there's a fitting symbolism to a final rebirth following this extensive phase of transformation. The last layers are seemingly shed, priming us to emerge rejuvenated and authentic, aligning more harmoniously with the essence of our true authentic selves. This present new moon holds a unique role. It lays the foundation for the forthcoming year, 2024, while simultaneously honoring the past and transformations we've undergone. It serves as a testament to the truths unearthed from our individual aspects in many different ways, and the way these insights have cultivated our personal cycles of possibly in terms of our own rebirth and regeneration of our clearing work. So, certainly, this new moon acts as a lighthouse for those seeking authenticity, shedding light on things in their true essence, while the appeal of New Year's, if you set goals, resolutions, intentions, whatever it is that resonates with you, um, there is an appeal for this, and also understand that the invigorating energy brought forth by the initial new moon of the year can be mesmerizing. Equal importance should be given to acknowledging and appreciating not just the present, but also the past, and really just giving gratitude for us to bring us to this present point. So, as 2024 dawns, the presence of the new moon brings with it a powerful opportunity for a fresh beginning. This presents the perfect moment to consciously step into the next chapter of our lives, and with it bringing in wisdom we've gathered along our journey and acceptance of our current circumstances. And indeed, it's an ideal juncture for deep reflection and personal growth. So you really want to let yourself, if you haven't already set intentions for this year, picked a power positive word, this new moon is a great time to do it. Recognizing the value also in embracing every aspect of our existence, we open up ourselves to receive ceaseless currents of inspiration, intuition from our souls, higher selves, and from divine source. These currents serves as beneficial guides, infusing us with zest as we step into new possibilities. Indeed, with the new moon, letting yourself really connect into the revitalization energy coming in, the surge of life's vital energy that carries dynamic potential on its wings. And you may have already been feeling this in different ways. If some of you were on my live last week when I was on YouTube, and I ended up being 30 minutes late because in my setting up my live for YouTube and scheduling it, I'm new to YouTube, and I'm new to YouTube in terms of going live. I did something, and it took me 30 minutes to figure out how to go live because I scheduled it differently than I did the prior week. But I will say that there was a moment, and I'm sharing this because it's about stepping into new possibilities. And one of my power positive intention word for 2024 is unstoppable. And I had just done a huge retreat weekend where I was talking about my word unstoppable. I've been listening to the Sia song Unstoppable, and I keep talking, and I'm unstoppable, unstoppable. And here I am, supposed to go live on YouTube for a meditation. I can see people waiting for me. And I had that moment of, wanting to quit, feeling scared, feeling anxious, and I was in that threshold of, am I going to really step into new possibilities, or am I going to shrink back? And it was a moment, and my higher self soul came in and just clearly said, I thought you were unstoppable. And it's completely okay if, you want to, just send out an email and say, hey, I wasn't able to do it, but I thought you were unstoppable. Is this really what it takes to stop you? And said it with so much love and light. And it was a moment of just like, wow, this is the moment to step into new possibilities. And so I rolled up my sleeves, and, I asked for the wisdom on how to figure out how to move around, what I needed to move around for the tech part of it. And you know, after like 20 minutes, it ended up being fully 30 minutes. I got on live, and it was a real moment. And it was a moment of stepping into new possibilities. And I share that because I think sometimes when people hear words like, with ease and grace or effortless, they think that it doesn't mean that you're not going to have these moments with a human. I look at it as like, there's moments where you know, we're kind of shifting gears. And that was a shifting of gears for me, where what does it mean to step into new possibilities, and how I had been talking about utilizing this word to support me in difficult moments. And that was clearly a difficult moment. And so how did I want to meet that moment? And there's many different ways, and it's not right, wrong, good or bad, it's the isness. And so what is it in the isness, and how then can I work with my human for the highest good? And for me, I stepped into a new moment last week, and I also was able to really test run the power intention word. And it just really, I saw how it can really support me. And I also, um, I don't know, I had so much humility too afterwards, where I came through it, and it just, so much humility in like the grace of our operations and being a human, and how sometimes we may want something and there might be a seeming mountain there. But that mountain, it doesn't mean that we're exerting so much effort that it's so tiring. But that inspiring action can help really teach us in such a greater way. And so I share that because it's like, as you're moving through this year, letting yourself use the tools. And I can't stress tools enough, because it's how in those moments you need to reach, there's got to be tools to reach for, and however they look for you. My way may not be your way, and that's completely okay. There might be a different way for you, but I can't recommend, if you don't already have a meditation practice or have some sort of practice support you clearing energy and regrounding and realigning and starting to tap into your wisdom, whatever that's going to look for you, find a way to start bringing that practice in for yourself. Because, when my higher self soul came and said, that very real thing for me, like, is this what it's going to take to be unstoppable? Like, I clearly heard like, oh, and it also made me laugh too, because I was really being called out. And when I laughed, it kind of broke the tension that I felt, and I felt more lightness come in. So reach for the tools, my friends. So let's continue now with the new moon. So, in the light of the ongoing ascension process, a continuous influx of cosmic light from divine sources being channeled into the earth and humanity, this light has the extraordinary ability to reveal outdated paradigms, programs, thoughts, patterns that no longer serve us, thereby urging us to finally release and cleanse them. Once this profound cleansing process is complete, we're able to tap into the rich soil within us and embark on a journey toward enhanced prosperity and health. So, the upcoming new moon opens up a doorway before you, inviting you to leave behind old patterns and paradigms and step into a whole new version of yourself. That transition taps into our inherent divine connection that makes abundant love, joy, and vitality available to us. So seize this opportunity, my friends, and embrace the incredible transformative journey. Remember, you are authentically and genuinely connected with the divine within. By embracing this connection and opening yourself to the incredible light that's pouring in, you invite streams of clarity, inspiration, and vision for the year ahead. This revelation of what's now attainable motivates you to act then in a way that vibrates in harmony with your deepest desires moment by moment. So this is a chance to embrace a fresh direction, an incredible, maybe even a new method, a new way, a newly discovered dedication to your genuine journey, your authentic journey to the divine illumination inside of you. Pay attention to your intuition as well, my friends, and permit your inner divine existence to guide, motivate, and also to steer you in all aspects in terms of the fresh onset of the new year. So the second thing to know, so that was the first thing to know about your energy. And I'm just going to acknowledge I'm recording for my podcast as well, live on Instagram. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm just noting somebody leaving a message for me on Instagram. Thank you. So the second important factor to consider during this new moon phase is that we're currently experiencing also different phases that we might be moving through. For instance, experiencing the winter season in the northern hemisphere. So even though the new moon marks the commencement of a fresh cycle, we can find ourselves also within a broader time frame designed for introspection and for revitalizing our energy stores, if you will. So this is achieved by tapping into the stillness within ourselves and also really learning. I mean, I can't encourage people enough to learn about energy and how it works, because the more you understand how it works, the more you can revitalize your energy too. So, with that, taking moments to ground yourself in tranquility, to reconnect with the undeniable energy that fuels our existence. So, with that, as spring approaches, if you are in the northern hemisphere in winter, as spring approaches, we prepare to harness this pulsating creative energy to drive the momentum in cultivating positivity and prosperity in our lives. The new moon presents a prime opportunity to give yourself also any kind of credit. You really want to acknowledge anything that you've been moving through, you have moved through. If you've worked with me in private sessions, you may often have seen me. Sometimes I do a little clap. I do cheering. I kind of calm. Let's face it, I'm a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader in elementary school and high school, and I just love cheering people on. I am a cheerleader, and I've always loved cheering people on, and I love, and I when even if somebody is in a really difficult space, I just feel like, okay, how can we bring in inspiration and support? Because when that person moves that mountain or when they reach the top to summit and they have that moment of just like, wow, I feel like I've just jumped over hurdles. And that's what I want to talk about right now, because as we are approaching and we're in this new year and we've concluded a previous year, taking a moment to actually acknowledge all the hurdles that you've overcome. Give yourself that moment of gratitude for showing up. And even if it's been really difficult, hard, give yourself that opportunity and give yourself credit for all the hurdles that you've overcome. And then with that, note the transformative growth that you've achieved, because you have had some shift, whether or not you can see it. It may be really subtle. Let yourself acknowledge that there has been some shift there. There's been some transformation there. And by you acknowledging it more and more, it will just support your human more and more, and will also help you in terms of expansion and then also growth and letting yourself receive abundance. And then with this, though, friends, by acknowledging these cycles of life as well, the ebbs and flows, and also death followed by rebirth, let them also serve as a guide and source of strength in your journey, because the cycles of growth, life, death, followed by renewal, rebirth, consistently manifest in our lives in different ways. It's during the phase of deterioration or death, if you will, or letting go of something, that we can learn the importance of releasing what no longer benefits us, purging no purging things that are no longer beneficial, or letting go of old energy or non-beneficial energies, frequencies, vibrations. Also, it can support us in terms of strengthening our connection with ourselves and our loved ones in different ways, letting us be present. It also can support us in terms of establishing, beneficial, clear boundaries, because it brings in understanding, transformation, and also brings in understanding maybe of what we need more of, perhaps. And also gives us more consciousness of things that we can decide to cast off, that we're ready to let go of, that maybe we weren't ready to let go of previously the year before. So this is really a pivotal transition in terms of this time, and it precedes a period of rebirth, growth, blossoming into a renewed existence. So, my friends, it's crucial now to contemplate what you're being prompted to let go of, what you're being prompted to release, what needs to fade away to make room for the vision you're capable of achieving, or the experiences you yearn for in a life. And so for me, when I share with you about how my power intention word this year is unstoppable, I also did, I mean, I took about a week before the new year and I did a full evaluation of not only my life last year, but of like my journey. And from that, I set some pretty lofty goals for myself and intentions. And so, in order for some of these things, in terms of the vision I understand that I know I'm capable of achieving, in order for me to allow that vision to come in, it means then I have to clear some things out of my closet. And I also have to allow myself to really be unstoppable in different ways. And so when I shared that experience about how on YouTube last week, when I was trying to go live and something was going on and I had a moment of wanting to quit, when my higher self soul came in to basically coach me through it and share and ask, is this what it means for you to be unstoppable? And it was very loving. It's because my higher self soul, it was in connection that I did all these meditations to download the next aspect of my divine design, the vision of where I'm going and what I'm being called to do. I may not have all the particulars about it. My higher self soul, my guide team has way more understanding of it than my human, but I know that I'm being called in a different way than I was in the previous year, and that there is something that is shifting. And so with that, then there's something that I need to then understand, that the vision that's coming in is I'm capable of achieving something. And so last week was a prep week for something that is probably going to be coming later in the year, that I had a moment, I was able to use the word unstoppable, and I worked through that difficulty. And I ended up live on YouTube 30 minutes late, but I got there. And so now with it, I was able to, after that live session, I was able to do a full Reiki and dowsing energy clearing of anything that came up, any kind of negative thought that would have previously really sabotaged me, or had me holding back from trying in a greater way, or perhaps would have allowed me, to be able to quit or shrink. I was able to have a full dowsing session with myself out of the energy of love and care, and also really determination to let go of reoccurring patterns or ingrained habits that just are not serving me or haven't served me for a long time. When people say like, oh, I've been playing small, or I haven't really allowed myself to be seen and heard, it's like there's something there that might be not only obstructing your path, but there might be, habits that may have been beneficial in the past because they kept you in some ways, they supported you, but now they may not be beneficial. And so last week was such an opportunity for me not only to workshop the understanding of the power intention word, and also using the tools to workshop it, but I also got to see and hear and sense non-beneficial habits or words that were no longer serving me, and patterns and systems that were no longer serving. And so it was a huge, remarkable time for me, even though it was really difficult and uncomfortable. And from that, after I did the dowsing, I had such a huge shift where the next day I felt so amazing and kind of in that like glowed up in light energy where you feel just like, wow, I'm really present. I'm alive. I'm here. And wow, this feels really good and invigorating. So again, I share that because it's like, and everyone has that possibility. It's not just like I can have it. Everyone can have it. This is what we're here for. You also have this opportunity. It's just taking the time to self-reflect, being curious, being open-minded. I kind of look at it as like in some ways like I'm a scientist in my own life. It's like I'm a cheerleader, I'm a scientist, and I'm also then being willing to be willing to like use these mindfulness tools to be open, to be able to story dot connect, and then also using the energy healing tools to clear negative energy, to ask for it to be transformed and transmuted, and recognizing that we're multidimensional beings. And so in being multidimensional beings, that it's not only in your experience, could it be your mental, emotional, physical, subtle, energetic, cosmic, erethic, cellular, spiritual bodies, like where something could be happening and you're bringing curiosity to it. But it could also be, is this from my present life? It could also be something from past lives. If you are somebody who resonates with past lives, and I'm somebody who does. And so for me, I had like 3 past lives that were also being called to be cleared. And also, there was some generational trauma that was being called to be cleared from both my maternal and paternal lineages. Things had to be cleared. And so, you have this experience of present life, possibly previous lives, past lives, possibly things coming from your maternal and paternal lineages. You also in this experience are living this human experience, connecting to your heart, your higher self soul, your spirit guide team for highest good. And that's where it's like it's multidimensional. There's this multifaceted experience happening here. And the more that you can bring clarity to how your system operates and how the operating system is happening, the more you can support yourself greater. And 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 it doesn't necessarily mean that it becomes easier at time, because when you're stuck in that moment of like, ugh, that uncomfortable energy, it feels uncomfortable. It just means that you probably get out of it a lot quicker, because at some point you're if you're strengthening your connection to higher self soul, your observer self will come in to support you and guide you because you've really strengthened that muscle. So that's why for me, doing meditation and also just doing the self reflection work is so important, because you're strengthening that muscle, that connection. You're strengthening that connection. So that way, when you are in a moment of like being in a jam, that at some point that higher self soul is going to kick in to support you in that guidance, because you've already been in workshop with it. So to me, that's why practice is so important. I call it, the art of practice, because it's continually, you're constantly learning and evolving. And all this information, one of the reasons why I do the energy updates and trying to explain the information, it's because it's for you to actualize it in your life. If you're just listening to information but not actually actualizing it in your life, then it becomes stagnant. You're just taking it in but not doing anything with it per se. So for you, it's about then, okay, what is the message that I'm supposed to hear in this information for the highest good? What can support me? And then taking that aspect and asking your higher self soul, your spirit guide team for highest good, whatever language you want to use, universe, yourself, whatever it is you want to say, you can change the language. But it's about taking the information then in a tangible way of how it applies to you. And I know that one of the amazing things now that we're in the experience of is that it's just so exciting that more and more people are coming out saying like, oh my God, I'm getting messages and I'm channeling. Like that is awesome. Like it's amazing. But I have found in doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of private sessions with people, and also being on this path for like my whole life. If you don't actually understand the nuances of the messages, it's not going to matter because you're not going to understand how to apply it. It's the nuances. It's really understanding the nuances of how the information works. And so if you are somebody that is interested in working with your intuition and you're working with different practitioners, incredible. But start to understand how the information applies and then how to use the information in terms of your life. And so that's why I also always talk about practice. Like, what does your practice look like? And taking time for that practice. So my practice might look different than yours, and that's completely okay. But let yourself find a way to cultivate something that's going to support you this year. Okay, so now back into the new moon. So, with all of this, friends, it is possible that there are aspects that you're clinging to that may be obstructing your path. And it's important to remember that the only thing that really can hinder us from fulfilling our highest calling and destiny really is ourselves. So you want to take time to reflect on this essential question. So, again, that is why I also chose the word unstoppable, because I did set some pretty lofty goals this year. And so I need something that's going to support me in terms of clearing any obstructions on my path. I also did create a Spotify Inspiring You Unstoppable playlist that is up on my link tree. Feel free to follow it, listen to it. It has really been helping me as well. And it's also Reiki'd as well. So if you are wanting to listen to it and you want to receive the Reiki, just say, yes, I'd like to receive the Reiki for the highest good. And the intention is there for anybody who wishes to receive it. They can. I also recommend creating your own playlist. Pick up Power Positive Word and then have fun creating a playlist. I had so much fun on Spotify doing it. I spent about 4 hours creating a playlist, and it brought me so much joy. So let yourself do that. Okay, so with this, my friends, take time to reflect on that essential question in terms of, like, is there any aspects that you're clinging to that might be obstructing your path? Take this opportunity to scrutinize recurring patterns, ingrained habits, and elements that no longer contribute positively to your life. Utilize the fresh momentum propelled by the new moon energy to cleanse and release them. And remember, every life event up until this present moment has offered a myriad of chances for growth and transformation. It's these experiences that have shaped you into the person that you are today. So letting yourself have gratitude about that. Because here we are, my friends, right? You as you are now, where you are now, have possibilities open to you that simply weren't available before. And this brings us then to the third point of all this, my friends, about the new moon. This new moon holds immense power, offering an amazing time to clarify your intentions for an extended period for the year ahead. So, what are you prepared to pledge yourself to accomplish? What are you prepared to pledge yourself to accomplish? What goals do you plan to pursue relentlessly? What goals do you plan to pursue relentlessly? Start by really defining your objectives. This could involve particular things you wish to materialize or divine qualities you want to represent or bring in. If there's something specific you desire, then let yourself probe into the reasons behind that longing. Let yourself do self reflection. So you can also, with this, like when I was career transitioning from television and shifting into more practitioner work, one of the things that I wanted to bring in was balance. I wanted more balance in my personal and professional life. I also wanted more peace. Peace was a word that I was like, I want to be in peace. I want to be in peace. And now I'm shifting in a greater way where I have different kind of divine qualities that I want to bring in. So with this, you can have divine qualities, but you also can have goals too. and there can be an intentions. So imagine having like the job or the vocation of your dreams. How would that make you feel? And start cultivating those feelings by asking yourself why that particular aspiration would bring you joy or satisfaction. This could result, then, my friends, in discovering a whole array of emotions or revelations about yourself. You have the power to foster an environment of increased prosperity, inspiration, and fulfillment. These qualities can be consciously developed even before landing your desired job, which will not only bring you closer to your aspirations, but will also allow you to reap the benefits immediately. So some things you can do also, I'm a big believer also of retraining the brain, using affirmations, because sometimes we can be kind of caught in some of our neural pathways where we can in some sort of a thinking. And so certain affirmations where like I am I'm abundant, or I'm in my full prosperity, to support you solidifying or retraining the brain and shifting mindsets. Because I know, as many of you know, that I live in Los Angeles, and one of the main industries in Los Angeles is television and film. And there's been some challenging times where, last year was a strike, and then, just going through the pandemic, there's just been a lot of changes. And so with that, there's been a lot of bumps for people along the way. And so I've worked with many of my clients where, they were like, there's just no jobs out there. It is like a desert. And it's like, but is it? There's got to be something out there, because there's a lot of content being made. And so when we work with changing the mindset, and then we also clear the negative energy, and then we set intentions, I can't tell you how many people, like a couple days later after doing a session, some sort of like miraculous like opportunity would present itself. And my client would like message me going, "You're never going to believe this came out of the blue." I should probably, I should probably like gather all the messages that I've received. Like, this came out of the blue. This came out of the blue, because that's what happens when you really align yourself. Things can shift, because just because something's happening in one area does not mean that, 98% of the earth is also affected. There's all kinds of different ways that content is being made, or things are being made, where people can also use their tools, and that things are available in terms of abundance and prosperity. Just because one industry is, taking a pause in some ways, doesn't mean that abundance and prosperity and financial flow is shutting down. That's just not how it works. So with that, my friends, embrace your fulfillment. Let joy and love shine through your intentions, carrying them forward into the new cycle of this new moon that's about to begin. Use this as an opportunity to really nurture these divine attributes for the journey ahead. So this is really an ideal time to pause, reflect, and inquire, what will you start from this newfound place of strength? How can you integrate all that you've learned from the past periods to step into greater control in terms of your life, cultivating more abundance, more prosperity, more joy, whatever it is that you want to bring in, all harnessing the power of past experiences in a beneficial way for your personal growth and transformation. So it's also with this it's an amazing opportunity, this moment, to complete any unfinished tasks. That's right. When we are surrounded by numerous incomplete projects, they can subtly deplete our energy. So finalize what's pending, devise a plan for upcoming tasks, and then ask yourself, my friends, what is the immediate step I can take to initiate? And then steer towards this new course, to embrace the fresh trajectory, knowing this momentum in terms of this potent, beneficial energy force that's happening. But remember, we can only gain momentum by kickstarting the process. You have to, at some point, get off the bench and show up in the game of your life. You have to get on the field. So let yourself get into the momentum and get onto the field so you can be in the game of your life. So it is a great time for you to seize this moment, ride the high tide of recreation, embracing the highest divine possibilities that the new year holds, are guiding, letting yourself be guided by this. You are a multidimensional being and you are a conduit in terms of allowing yourself to receive this light and letting yourself also connect in with this, with the arrival of the new moon this year, because it is presenting an incredible opportunity for you to truly rise and embrace your authenticity. Let yourself let go of distractions, distortions that once held you back, remaining focused and committed to your goals and intentions, gradually allowing this dedication to align with your genuine self through each step and each moment. Encourage the influx of abundant higher light from the cosmos and source to rejuvenate and bolster your energy. This also empowers you with insight, guidance, and knowledge to discern what's truly beneficial in terms of your path, and also lets you understand what to clear in terms of the illusions, distortions, or distractions. You'll gain more clarity to understand your truth and act in harmony with what is beneficial for you. So, with this, recognizing also letting yourself be in gratitude and recognize the path that you've traveled. Acknowledge, my friends, the journey that you've undergone. Pay tribute to all the instances of endings and beginnings that have escorted you to your current position. While January new moon presents deeper, more introspective work, we can also approach it, my friends. We can approach its energy from a pragmatic perspective as well, because Capricorn is anchored in terms of an earth sign, permitting us to leverage this new moon's power to establish structure in our day to day routine and shoulder the beneficial responsibility necessary. It also, my friends, incites us with this really incredible, inspiring, ambitious energy that instills determination and motivation to support us in any challenges we face. And also with this, it's said that intentions or goals or resolutions or objectives, whatever word you want to use, whatever is set during a Capricorn new moon, it is connecting to the mark of long-term commitment. So, my friends, if you're eyeing a long-term commitment, this new moon is the time to solidify your intention and take a corresponding inspiring action, no matter how small it might be. Your inspiring action, when coupled with the energy of the new moon, will aid you in manifesting your intentions over an extended period. During this transformative phase, it is vital, my friends, to also, and I know this can be really hard on the human, it is vital to remain patient and refrain from expecting instant outcomes. That being said, friends, there's some things that can shift and you can have like amazing, like, oh my God, that was like a miracle moment that just came in and that just shifted. But some things are a long game. And so you have to then start to understand how to set intentions, let go, and allow whatever needs to happen to come in. Because sometimes it's just about planting seeds too. Seeds are being planted to blossom later on, and you may not have the full information. Like I said about last week when I went YouTube live and I had that hiccup for 30 minutes, y'all, that was like some seeds were being planted. And I'm probably not going to know the full extent of that until probably later on this year or maybe even in the coming years, because there's some sort of transformation that's happening and I was only clued in on just a little bit. So it's really vital to remain patient and refrain from expecting instant outcomes. You may place significant emphasis on trusting your inner wisdom and values. Consider dedicating some time to journal your intentions clearly without dwelling on how they'll come to fruition. You can also do a vision board can be really helpful. You can also, if you are writing a list, you can picture this list as an ongoing project, one that can be continually refined, augmented, rewritten, or even entirely altered. If you are in my if you're on my Patreon membership level with Meditate with Me, or hire the all access once a month, we do intention setting at the end of the month for the new month coming in. I cannot I cannot suggest that enough. It is like one of my favorite things that we do. We take 2 hours. We do energy healing meditations to clear. We call in and do a whole intention setting, and then sending Reiki to the intentions to support. It's just been, it was one of my favorite things that I set up last year. Okay, so with this new moon and the energy that we're currently in, you also want to pay particular attention to your bones, teeth, joints, knees, physical areas that might be vulnerable during this period of change and transformation. Because as we explore old habits and transition them into beneficial energies, these parts of the body can come under strain. This new moon is an excellent time, my friends, to focus on achieving through closure with whatever no longer serves you. As you let go of the past, make it a point to create new space in your life, appreciating and often also thanking the lessons you've learned along the way, my friends. Taking time for that gratitude is so, so, so important. So, with that, my friends, we'll just do a quick little summary. If you're just joining us now on Instagram, as we usher in the first new moon of the year, the celestial landscape is brimming with fresh inspiration, sparking enthusiasm for the journey ahead. And if you're still caught in any kind of tiredness from 2023, make sure that you are allowing yourself to use your tools to clear and letting yourself uh, use the tools to clear and call in new energy to fill in the spaces. So that is pretty much the entire new moon update. Tomorrow, we are going to be doing a new moon Reiki energy healing, raise your vibration meditation live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be in connection to the new moon with the intentions with Reiki. The replay is going to end up on the Inspiring You Show paid podcast. That's on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts on. And also for the Inspiring You paid membership on the Patreon, the replay will be there for the Meditate with Me level or all access. So the replay won't be available to everyone for the public, but you can join in the live. And again, if you're wanting the replay, then you can head either to one of those that I just mentioned and you can become a member. But no matter what, my friends, I just hope that you take time out to do some introspection and also intention setting. I hope this information proves really beneficial to you, and much love, light, and Reiki blessings, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate every single one of you.